Welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 17th of October for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through till Pisces. Now, as this week begins, we still have that Libra season. The Sun, Mercury and Venus all in the sign of Libra, but Venus is the ruler of Libra, so this gives it a particular resonance. Now by Saturday, the Sun and Venus come into an exact conjunction, but it's right at the end of their stay in the sign of Libra, because on Sunday they move into Scorpio. So I need to tell you about that for each of the 12 signs, but also the ruler traditionally of the sign of Scorpio is Mars, and the Sun's forging a really energized link to Mars this week, which is brilliant if we're wanting to have enthusiastic conversations. The problem is that Mars continues to be compromised by the swirling mist that is Neptune, and that's in the 12th solar house. So the potential for gossip or misunderstandings is still quite high, but if we can get our facts straight and we have a real sense of wanting to work in some kind of cooperative, collaborative, collegiate way, the Sun's conjunction with Venus by the end of the week can really, on the face of it, point towards improvements around relationship matters. It's just that in the very heart of this week, there is also a square between the Sun and Pluto. And this is much more complex. It's exact on Wednesday, but it is there, getting tighter to that exact point for most of this week. And of course, Pluto is very much the planet of power. So any relationship matter may require, if it has not been quite going as each party wants, an intense discussion. If it's possible to use the more diplomatic energies of Venus and the more detached vibe of Mercury, which does continue a very bubbly opposition to Jupiter, if we can continue to do that and rise above the need to be very forceful in our approach, which comes from Pluto, then solutions can be found. But if that's not possible, I think that the move of the Sun and Venus into Scorpio, along with Saturn going direct on Sunday, could signal a separation in a tie that isn't working, or it can see something settle down in a much deeper and more productive and positive and committed way. So it's a bit of a make or break week for relationships in general for many of us, but how this plays out for your particular zodiac sign is what I will explain. Now, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast, year 2023 is racing up. If you want your personal forecast for that year, if you give me 3 pieces of personal data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your 2023 personal forecast, but the rest of this year free. Plus, in my special package, your roadmap, your character analysis, which can help to guide your moves for the rest of your life. This will give you invaluable information to help you to understand some of life's repeating patterns for you, but also where you can seize opportunities. Please see the link below for more information. If you're new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. If you decide to do so, please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you're an ongoing viewer, thank you so much for your continuing views. So Taurus, your week commencing the 17th of October forecast sees your ruler come into an exact conjunction with the Sun on Saturday, and then together, rather gracefully, they make their way into your opposite sign, the sector of relating. So that's a really exciting piece of news for you. And yet earlier in the week, the Sun's in, along with Venus, a rather tense right angle with Pluto. And Pluto for you is in your sector of knowledge and growth, expansion, higher education. So the truth of an association, perhaps one to do with your everyday working situation, that may be sort of biting at your sense of peace of mind somewhat. Also, of course, in terms of the financial situation that we're all facing, because Mars is in your second house and Neptune the 11th, and they're continuing their rather difficult relationship, perhaps the energy in the sixth house is just asking you not to be kidded by anything, really sort of cut through. With Mercury in this area too, that's very helpful. But by the end of the week, if there is a way that you can find some kind of alliance, develop more harmonious ties with anyone really, it doesn't matter if it's a line manager, people that you know through your kids' activities, any kind of goodwill that brings an ease of communication around relationships is something to really celebrate. But perhaps in an ongoing personal relationship, especially if you live together, if you felt too much of the domestic load was falling upon you and you've been wanting to rebel against that somewhat, I think by the end of this week you could probably find just the right choice of words to make your point, but there may be some tense scenes before then. And as ever with 7th house energy, it's our skill not just as asserting our boundaries, but also at listening to where other people may be coming from, particularly if they don't see things the same as us, because I feel one of the great ways to disperse antagonism is actually to recognise that people do see things differently from me sometimes, and just acknowledging that and allowing people to have a different viewpoint can be really, really positive. And I think Venus and the Sun allied in Libra can certainly help that on Saturday. And of course, with Saturn starting to go forwards in the part of your situation to do with work, if some of the tensions have been because maybe you've been carrying too many responsibilities and other people have not quite been doing their bit, I think generally by the end of this week, hopefully things will be much more constructive. But if you're single, over the next few weeks could be a very exciting time for you.